the only one left is Shoigu, and if they fire Shoigu, then they'll have to put Lavrov in. If they fire Lavrov, they'll have to put in Medvedev, and if Medvedev gets fired, Putin will have to be the general. So
about 5 more meters and we're in. Let me watch it. Watch us cross it. And we're in Ukraine. We've got to cross it.
good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 327. We're just leaving Pavlograd, out in eastern Ukraine, Donetsk Oblast, and we're actually empty. Everything has been given out, so once again we say thank you for being here. Thank you to the mods in the chat and everybody in this great community. Right now we're en route to Dnipro, and in our GPS we actually have it plugged in to see if we can get and pay our respects to the people that lost their lives in that missile attack, that now the death toll is at 30?
Over 30, seems to be 35.
35 killed in that missile attack in Dnipro. Also this morning, Jane, you got some information on some new tactics that the Russian military is using, and Ukraine's having to make an adjustment to it. This would be out right where we were yesterday. This would be in Bakhmut, this would be Soledar, that entire eastern region where the battles are so hot, probably happening in Avdiivka as well, I don't know, but that whole line for sure. We know that Russia put in the new general, Gerasimov. I mean, if they fire him, the only one left is Shoigu, and if they fire Shoigu, then they'll have to put Lavrov in. If they fire Lavrov, they'll have to put in Medvedev, and if Medvedev gets fired, Putin will have to be the general. So they're getting to the bottom of the bucket for their generals, but Gerasimov is a bad guy. So whether it's him calling these new tactics or not, we do not know, but it's not good. So what did you learn this morning? What are they doing?
Oh, they're attacking our guys, our positions on Liman, Soledar area, then Avdiivka area, and Bakhmut, especially Bakhmut and Soledar. So at first they're using Ukrainian uniforms and a color code, Ukrainian color code. So attacking by groups, about 23 persons in each, and this they split this group for three parts. The first one is demining. The second one is it's like a storming the position.
Stormtrooper.
Yeah, stormtroopers. And the third one is it's let's say taking control all of it and doing a fire covering and control of the operation of this group. We have some difficulties with that, but our guys are adjusting the tactic.
When you talk about changing the colors,
yeah.
Maybe people do not understand, but if you've seen a lot of videos from the war, you'll often notice that the soldiers have tape around their arms, or a tape on their guns.
Sometimes it's left, sometimes it's right, sometimes and there is 4 colors.
And you've seen blue, and you've seen yellow,
green.
And actually yesterday we supplied our troops with green tape that we had to bring in from Kharkiv. They're constantly changing the color so that they can identify a little bit easier who's on their team or not. I remind you that these guys can speak the same language. The Russian language, that is. The Russians can't speak Ukrainian. They know it instantly by the accents. But the Russian language, of course, so sometimes it's difficult to identify. So they're using every tactic possible, passwords, tapes. You do not get to where we got to last night without having military contacts. You can't just go. So everything is secured, multiple levels, and that's war on the front line. So that's the update as we're getting going here and heading straight west, Dnipro, and then on. We've got some things coming up, trying to get our truck into country this week. Our next run is going to be down to the south, Kherson area. Got some supplies to take down there. Then we'll be reloading for another run back out east. So that's where we're at on this Monday, day 327. Thank you for being here, and we'll keep you posted as this day unfolds. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Here we are on the main bridge crossing the Dnipro River, coming into the very, very large city of Dnipro, just a couple of kilometers away from where the missile struck the residential building. So guys, here we are in Dnipro, Ukraine. Yesterday Bakhmut, and today we've returned. We stayed in Pavlograd, and you can see behind me, all we're trying to do is get the truth out. And our friends here at the security services gave us permission. We have all the documents we need to get it done, and we're here to tell the truth. This is the building that was struck. We're at 35 people that have lost their life, over 60 wounded. And what's really interesting about this is that directly behind us here is the Dnipro River, and less than a mile away, maybe half a mile, is the most important bridge crossing the river. Jane and I were discussing as we were coming down here to this, that if I was a military guy and I was against Ukraine, I would take that bridge out. Instead of 100 missiles all around Ukraine, I would take that bridge out. It would cut off all supplies coming from the southern region across that huge river, which is a mile wide right here. But instead of doing that, we're going to destroy a 9-story building. We're going to kill over 35 people. I assume by this point, at the clean rate, they probably have removed all the dead bodies, and they're working. And it's very solemn right here. It's very quiet. Look over here, Jacob. You can see the trucks lined up to clean. Everything is orderly. This would be like a 911 moment. If you look down here behind me, you can see all of the police and security in their yellow jackets, and then of course all in here, all the security. But the interesting thing is Ukraine is restoring this instantly. You're getting an instant restoration. It just shows the heart and the integrity and the character of the nation of Ukraine. And I don't know, I remember 9/11 in the US. Of course, that was the Twin Towers, and our world changed. But something like this in this war, day 327, this is one of the larger events where a lot of civilian lives have been lost. So it's a tragedy. So there you have it, folks. We're here and we work very hard to tell the truth, and that's the truth.
Кому предложить?
Комнату хотела людям предложить одну. Ну, не навсегда, ну, ну им тут, конечно.
А, вы ищете, как помочь, да?
Помочь, а как же? А что, себе что ли? Сын уже здесь где-то. Он армии тоже такой.
She is looking for the opportunity to help people. She has. I have a room. I wanted to, if anybody needs it. My son is somewhere over here already helping, and she's looking for the ways to help the other one. She says, I have the room.
Все. Да не, ну жалко людей, жалко. Вы что? Это
Да.
же вообще ужас. Да неужели этого дурачка не могут поймать, этого Путина?
Я американский.
Говорит, он с Америки. Говорит,
Мы будем, но.
поймаем.
Ой,
Пиздище.
поймать надо его.
When is,
Только так жить.
Да,
how
невозможно
it's
жить,
possible
как
to
это.
live like
Да вы
that?
что, смеетесь? Я вот пришла, у меня двухкомнатная. Я предложила ему.
And my son is
Он
in
уже
here.
в 5 или в 5 часов утра здесь был.
He was
Я
here
щас-
from 5 morning.
Это вообще... Ой, кошмар.
Все будет хорошо.
Да, где-то хорошего еще мало.
Да не знаю.
Дай Бог, дай
Дай
Бог.
Бог.
Да неужели не работает этого Путина, не могут достать его? Вот смотрите, что творит они спустя рукавами. Разве можно так делать? Его уже давно уничтожить надо. Тут у меня здесь никого нету. Может, кто-то будет. Ну, пожалуйста, все хорошо. Спасибо
хорошо.
вам.
Мы любим вас. Да, мы стоим. И скоро Путин будет.
Во.
Скоро Путин будет.
Вот это там.
There's reality for you. Little granny just wanting to give her room up. Did that look like a fascist or a Nazi? Just checking.
We're working our way back through central Ukraine right now. You saw the sign coming into Krovoidory again now. We're actually pushed on through, coming up on Uman. And then from there, we'll be heading into Vinica and back to our home base of Khmelnytsky. Rest up a couple days, get reloaded, and I think our next destination will be Kherson. Got some deliveries heading that way. And then, of course, we'll be back east with our guys. But it all takes time, so back for a reload. So today, being in Dnipro, and you can see it's really the main news going around, the number now stands at 40 killed in that strike, and we were there sharing it with you. And very interesting to listen to the little granny talking and bearing her emotions and bearing her soul about that strike. It's obvious, even though she didn't know anybody personally in that building, she must live in that region and walk by there all the time and be personally connected. Now, Zhenya shared with me a video that's very interesting, and I'm going to throw it in here now because it's perfect timing. You could hear the little granny talking multiple times there in Dnipro about Putin. Why can't anybody get him? Just get him. Be done with it. And of course, there are bigger factors at play. It's obvious. It really seems that the West, the United States, although helping, really is using this to weaken Russia and try to deplete them some. UK sending over tanks, but they're sending 14. So, thank you, UK, but 14? Something's much bigger going on. The video Zhenya shared with me was actually from the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher. She saw this coming way back in the year 2000. I remind you, it was the year 2000, the Kursk submarine sank in the Barents Sea. And Vladimir Putin, the new president there, and she calls it the Soviet Union, the new president of Russia, he was just coming into power, basically did not let the world touch that for days and days and days, let all the soldiers, made sure they were basically all dead, and just did not care about humanity. And now we're seeing that play out again and again and again. And here we are, 23 years later. Sure does seem that the little granny in Dnipro was right. And of course, the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher. Check her opinion out here.
Now we have the new Mr. Putin. I looked at the pictures of Mr. Putin, trying to look for a trace of humanity. And I should, within a few weeks, have known better, because you know what happened. They had the terrible tragedy of the submarine going down straight to the floor. Whether there was an explosion inside or not, we don't know. But it was very interesting what happened. If ever there's a calamity in the West, the whole of the armed forces will go, they'll take everything there immediately. The politicians immediately will get together and say, what help do we want? They can have anything we can give. If we haven't got the help, we'll get it from someone else. There would be anxiety, because what mattered was not the submarine, but the lives of those in. And the interesting thing was that the new leader of the Soviet Union didn't act quickly. This was very soon the comment. He didn't try to mobilize everyone else. We didn't know whether we could help, but we were all ready to go and help, and sent some of the small submarines that we had just for such an occasion. But that, my friends, was very, very revealing indeed. They still do not value human life in the same way that we do. And so, all the help got there, I'm afraid, really rather late. And I'm very relieved in one way that Mr. Putin got so much criticism for what he should have done, but didn't. And that again shows that the Soviet Union and the peoples of the Soviet Union are very much aware of what could be done, a great deal more could be done than is being done at the moment.
One more thing that we find interesting today, and when we were looking at that location there in Dnipro and that huge apartment building destroyed, and you've seen it tonight on the video, and I even showed you the graphic, how close it was to that main bridge. We were talking about it when we crossed the bridge, that if I was a military strategist, I'd take that bridge out. This is very easy and cut off the supply. But this is terroristic activity. And sure enough, on Russian state TV today, they're giving their opinions on why the targets are the way they are. Very interesting what you're getting ready to see from Moscow.
Отметили прекрасным фейерверком, таким вот, как положено. Приятно, не буду скрывать, приятно, но гораздо приятнее было бы увидеть разнесенный в хлам какой-нибудь Днепровский мост. Даже если в этот дом попала наша ракета, вот лично для меня это не меняет вообще ничего. Но посмотрите на фотографии Мариуполя. Вот что будет с Харьковом. Да, будет. И с Днепропетровском это будет. И с Киевом это будет.
That video makes it perfectly clear about Moscow's true intention. Yeah, the guy talks about he'd love to get the bridge, but he's happy with the houses. So, you may say, well, that's not the Kremlin. Well, it's the state TV. It's the Kremlin. They support every bit of that. When I was playing that video and editing up a little bit here on the drive back west, what'd you say when you hear that video?
Can I share it? No.
Yeah, you can share it.
I mean, when I hear that someone is wishing the death of the kids of Ukraine and the people, and it makes him happy that their military forces are killing, people, Ukrainian people, civilian people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just bad words coming to my mind, and sorry.
Well, you're telling the truth. Bad words come to your mind, of course. Now, I want to update you guys on a couple of other things. Today, Russia and Belarus have been participating in joint Air Force drills up on the Belarusian border. We've had a few air alarms during the day, probably triggered by those activities. When those planes get in the air on the borders, air alarms start going off because you never know if they're up loaded with missiles, or they're practicing, or just enjoying the air alarms, setting them off so that people's lives are disturbed every day. In addition to that, we've heard, and I'll let Jania give more insight into this, but we've heard from both sides. If you remember on the video last night, Jania was talking about how Russian soldiers have been dressing up in Ukrainian uniforms and all of these things, doing these different kind of offensives, trying to disrupt Ukrainian military action. But we've heard from both sides, so whether it's Belarus and Russia working together on the north with their air forces, and we know that troops and tons of munitions are up there, or out east, where we can tell you, and we've shown you, it's extremely heavy fighting. Extremely heavy fighting. Both sides are saying we have an offensive coming. So probably going to get a little interesting next couple of weeks.
I think next couple of days, I hope for. We need a breakthrough, and that Ukraine needs it. We don't need to wait for Russia would prepare their soldiers in like February and or March. I think that for us it's so important to get as much as possible now. And plus, okay, they have much more people, the population, and the soldiers, and the mobilization process non-stop going on there. So they don't count the.
They just
the
keep
soldiers.
sending them.
Yeah, just sending them. Yes, they're dying there for Putin's ambitions, but our guys dying as well. So like this is.
It seems
Mhm.
Putin will be happy to exchange 5 for 1. I mean, that's what it seems like. It seems he'll be happy to give up 50 or 100,000 soldiers if he can eliminate X amount of Ukrainians, because, like you're saying, nobody's unlimited, but reality is they have a much larger base to mobilize from.
Yeah.
So we do need to be hot and active. So probably, I said a couple of weeks, Jania saying a couple of days, we're going to see some more activity going on. Both sides wanting to crank it up. So we'll be watching.
So for us, for Ukraine, what can help? The weapon, tanks, airplanes, artillery, whatever, armored vehicles, everything. This can help us, but
it's sad, and we've seen it quite often.
Thousands of tanks are just staying there
In Europe,
everywhere, like in the world.
in the world. And it's sad to see Ukrainian soldiers driving these little cars painted green to get to their positions. It's just so crazy. Absolutely madness. Absolute madness. We did see, we can say it, on our journey somewhere between there and here, we've seen a couple of air defense systems that appeared being transported. So thankful for that. They had those guys under serious protection, and they were all covered up, very secure, doing a good job transporting them. We were right beside them, so if you were looking from the air or something, it would probably be very difficult to recognize them. It looked just like a regular kind of shipment, but it was air systems. We were right beside them. So,
but still, it's not.
But it's two.
No, but this air system we've seen,
Yeah.
not capable. They cannot shoot down the missile which hit it, like Ha-22, which hit it.
The building in Dnipro we're talking about today.
No, not these systems.
Well,
Patriot, yes.
I'm not sure Patriot. I know our guys in America go, okay, yeah, we can.
Okay, let's say like
Hypersonic.
this. Let's say like this.
Hypersonic.
Much more chance.
Much more chance.
Or
Agreed.
let's say from the, using the math and the facts. Since February 24, official position, Ukraine shot down 0 of Ha-22 missile. 0.
I remember a stream probably 2-3 months ago where one of our military guys that are active in the stream said that when the Patriots get over there, the United States is going to use this as a testing ground to make the Patriots and our defense systems even better. Unfortunately, we're having to do that in the middle of a war. not in some other system, and we're using Ukraine,
But still,
unfortunately, as a guinea pig in this. Still, we have it. But
still nothing yet. Sorry.
no, it's
but
not here. It's not
just
coming for months.
Still,
And I'm not sure, and I know the guys in the chat will be talking about it. Can a Patriot take out hypersonic?
it seems to me it's not a hypersonic. This one.
The KH-22?
Uh,
The Kinjal?
Okay.
I don't know. But that's the question.
I don't think so. It's like real
But-
hypersonic speed.
Can a Patriot take out a hypersonic, though?
I really doubt.
Like a Kinjal? I doubt it, too. I don't know. So we're not saying we do know. We're just asking. It's a valid question, because right now we have nothing that can take out the hypersonics for sure here. So we'll see. Legos and stuff. Anyway, that's where we're at today, guys. Really interesting look here in Dnipro and our travels back, and that's what's going on. A lot of stuff unfolding here over the next couple of days, and we'll be here with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Hope you guys, and on this one I'll use the word enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed over the last couple of days seeing the things you bought put directly in the hands of people, soldiers.
Yeah.
So on that one, we can enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure. Because being a part of the process, saving life of soldiers who are fighting on their own land, not occupants, but fighting for their own families in own country, for their own land. Yes, it's honorable. And
We specifically shot video putting it in their hands, because that's what we said we would do. We would put it in their hands. So when we placed gear in their hands, you placed gear in their hands.
as I understand, during that 4 days,
Mhm.
the tourniquets got in 5 different places.
Over the last 4 days of us rolling, the tourniquets have been distributed to 5 different locations. And I can tell you what, there's a quality tourniquet shortage here in Ukraine. So keep buying them on Amazon, guys. The Cat 7, the real ones, and we'll keep delivering them. So thank you guys as always. Today you had a really close-up look at Dnipro, and you're updated as to what's going on over here in Ukraine today, day 327. Thank you as always. Can you do a heart while you're driving? I mean,
Yes.
on a single lane road and there's trucks everywhere?
No, but yes, but not.
Can you do it?
Yes. Ooh.
Good night to all.
To all a good night.